At it again, baby, and we have another one with Jordan Peterson, Ben Shapiro, Dave Rubin. Let's dive in.
The things you notice about children, for example, is if children don't get enough good attention, they'll certainly go after bad attention because the fundamental human currency is attention. And it's one thing to be hated, but it's another thing entirely to be ignored. And I would say, generally speaking, if you put...
Ooh, it's one thing to be hated, but it's another thing entirely to be ignored. That is true. That's facts.
To be hated, but it's another thing entirely to be ignored. And I would say, generally speaking, if you put people in a corner and you made them choose, you know, if they had knowledge that was transparent to themselves, you said, well, would you rather be ignored or hated? They'd take hated, because at least then you exist, because you exist, at least in some part, in your relationship to other people. And so some of the bad behavior is rewarded precisely for that reason, is that it does draw attention, and that does make you signify.
I'm really about solutions. That's my driving force in life at this point. And I think there are actual solutions. And I thought that clip, which of course that was Jordan Peterson, Ben Shapiro, and myself, that was Rubin Report back in 2018, sort of at the peak of the whole IDW thing. And I thought what Jordan was talking about there was something that you're just not going to see on mainstream media, like something having to do with responsibility and what really drives people and the desire for attention, and perhaps a plague that is affecting young people right now in a new way, maybe because of social media and the rest of it. They're clearly...
Oh yeah, a big part of that is social media. I mean, we've seen it time and time again. All of these stupid, crazy, and don't get me wrong. We all did stupid stuff when we were kids. We all did, including myself. You know what I mean? I'm not excluded from the dumb group for sure. But I feel like now it's gone to a different level. Like, it's gone to another level. We saw videos. There was like a challenge where people would put some kind of, I want to say it was some kind of lighter fluid or something, and literally set it on fire on their hand and stuff. So what? The Tide Pod stuff. Kids were eating Tide Pods. I'm just like, huh? How was that even? That's not a challenge. Like, that's like just straight stupidity, you know? The salt and ice stuff where you would literally have a burn. It was burning their skin. Oh, whoever can hold it on the longest, you know, and it's all for attention, all for the love of attention on social media. Oh, I want to get more likes. I want to get more followers. I want more attention. And I think we've lost some of these kids to that attention needle, so to speak. They've gotten addicted to attention. And it's sad. It's sad to see. It really is. I think we need to shift course back to, you get attention for doing some good things. You know, you get attention for being the star athlete, or you know, a great athlete in the school, for putting in some work. You know, you get attention for being the smartest kid in the classroom that everybody looks to. You know, when the test is being taken, you know, everybody's looking over to the smart kid like, oh, what did he go? Did he check A, B, or C? Look like B. All right. You know, everybody applauds those kids. You know, we got to get back to that. And I don't exactly know how. Maybe it includes deleting an app like TikTok. I don't know. I feel like a lot of this stuff goes on TikTok. But I don't know. You guys can let me know what you think we could do to kind of eliminate some. I mean, you'll never eliminate all of it. It's just the way the times are right now. But to get it back under control, what do you guys think we can do? Let me know in the comment section below.
Was a mental health issue here. So one that is affecting young people right now in a new way, maybe because of social media and the rest of it. There clearly was a mental health issue here. So one of the themes that you're going to be hearing about over the next couple of weeks, obviously, is we just need more laws. We just need more laws, more strict laws. We just have to take guns away, all of these things. And the simple...
I disagree with that statement, and I have a perfect example. If I remember correctly, the guy who did the Buffalo situation literally said he went there because he knew the likelihood of somebody having a weapon that could counter his was very, very low. If I remember correctly, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but I want to say I do remember seeing something about that. That's what he had said before the whole situation went down. He knew if I go, because he wasn't from there, if I remember correctly. He traveled there because of the laws. But anyway, yeah, let me know in the comment section. I want to say that was the case, but I could be wrong. I could be thinking of a different situation, but I'm pretty sure that one was it. Anyway, let's dive back in.
Fact is, law enforcement knew about it. In almost every shooting that we're hearing about now, law enforcement usually has met with the person or has been alerted about the person. These systems are not perfect. Now, we can talk about how to tighten these systems. We can talk about how to do a better job with law enforcement. But the simple answer seems to always be, oh, just give us more laws. If we just had more laws around guns, if we just had more laws around bad people. And generally, bad people do bad things, whether there are laws or not. Now, one of the main reasons that I'm not covering the shooter's name is because I don't want these people to have any more notoriety. I think this is a key thing. This is something that the mainstream media is completely missing. And years ago, we should have all stopped saying their names. I actually stopped saying their names a couple years ago on the show, and it was in large part from this conversation that I had with Jordan Peterson and Ben Shapiro. This is a further clip from the cold open that we just showed you a few minutes ago.
Think about the people who do heinous crimes, like the school shooters, people like that who do these things that are almost inconceivable. A huge part of the drive for that is fantasies about notoriety and the emergence from obscurity and anonymity. Even though it's notorious, it's hatred. The idea is, I'd rather be dead and infamous than alive and anonymous.
Yeah, which, by the way, you, I think, were one of the first websites to say we're not going to publish these people's names because then we're giving them exactly what they want.
Yeah, exactly. Like there have been, I don't want to take credit as like the first, because there are several, their names escape me, but there are other people who have been promoting this for a while. But yeah, I was late to it. We should have done it earlier.
And I talked to the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation about that about 10 years ago, about the idea that publicizing the names of these killers is precisely one of the mechanisms that ensures that it will continue to happen.
Peterson, I just love the guy.
That's a very interesting statement. And I could see how that would be true. Because if you're anonymous and a nobody, well, most people don't like that. And this last gentleman here, from all reports, was basically a nobody. And there were some warning signs as well. But obviously, after you do something like that, everybody knows who you are. Interesting. I like it. I mean, it's a small step, but it's a step. Let's stop saying their name. We won't even mention their names anymore. No more mentioning of the names of these individuals in the news, and hopefully that'll stop, a few. Even if it's only a few, that's better than nothing. I'm not saying it's like the best solution in the world or anything, but it's a step, right? But let me know if you guys agree.
Line, I'd rather be dead and infamous than alive and anonymous. And there's something about the whole that is perhaps within all of us right now, and maybe social media really exacerbated it. Maybe it really enlarged that thing. That people want fame. They want attention more than anything else. That this thing that was supposed to make us social, that it did something to make us all feel more alone, right? It was supposed to connect us. That was the thing. And then we got left in this world where we feel more worthless. We have to think about that, because that has something to do with all of this. So for that reason right there, I am not going to say the shooter's name. I would hope that some other organizations, I know the Daily Wire is not going to do it. I'll actually talk to my friends at The Blaze and see what their policy is on this, but they are going to keep saying his name over and over on mainstream media. And that just sort of adds to it, because then there's another kid out there who's dealing with some of the same issues that this kid was dealing with. And they think, oh, I can be somebody too. I can be somebody too. And the internet has then so disconnected them from reality, they would rather have that dead and infamous than alive and anonymous thing. So we're just not going to do it.
Right on. Right on. Good for you, Dave. Good for you. So yeah, I mean, it's very interesting when you really break it all down as far as why some of these things happen. You know, if you want to speak to, you know, the recent situation, there were quite a few warning signs. One of the last ones that I saw was the guy was literally mutilating his face, like cutting his face and stuff, which is just, also he posted on social media, you know, something about the situation in the school. So there were warning signs. So I think that we have to get better at taking people at their word when they say some of these wild things. When somebody says, you know, something like that, not something that you disagree with, not something that simple, because there's a fine line, right? There's a very fine line. And I feel like that could easily be abused. Oh, he said something I don't like. I feel threatened, you know? Like, no. I mean, serious situations and circumstances where it's just like obvious with some of the things that I saw. And I don't know if they were 100% true or not. So I don't want to go into too much detail because I might have been looking at something that was completely false. But some of the things that I saw that, you know, he had displayed were just like, whoa, and nobody like stopped him, like nobody, you know what I mean? It's just like, I feel like that some of those were like quite obvious, quite blatant, especially if you knew who he was. Certain individuals allegedly, you know, spoke about who he kind of was before the whole situation went down, and like knowing, if you combine that with what he was saying, it was just like, ooh, like that's the recipe right there. But also there were things, in one major thing that possibly could have prevented this whole situation from happening. It wasn't reported immediately after the situation. It didn't come out until a day or two later, but the door was open. The door was just left open. Granted, there was a reason why it was left open, but it was open. And he was able to just walk right in. Because one of the things that I said, and I don't remember if I dropped this video. I record so many videos now. I forget which videos I said it in and if I even dropped the videos. But I vividly remember when I was a kid at school, all the doors are locked. There's cameras at every entrance and a little like intercom button thing that you have to press. It goes directly to the front office. You have to identify yourself, let them know why you're there, you know, who you're there to pick up, blah, 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 and all this sort of thing before you can get into the building. And so when I heard that he just walked in, I'm just like, wait, what? When I was in school, you couldn't just walk in, and like in 2022, you could just walk into schools? That's mighty suspicious. But it turns out that normally the school is locked. It just so happened that that particular day they did something outside. So a teacher left the door propped open. And when she ran back in, she forgot to shut it behind her. And I get it, you know, allegedly the situation was already kind of going down. She was panicked. She was running. You know, if you're panicked and you're hearing some shots ring off, you're probably not going to be thinking very clearly. But maybe there should have been a key fob that you are able to scan. I know a lot of schools have that as well. You know, teachers have a little key fob that they, you know, swipe in front of the little mechanism, and that unlocks the door instead of just propping the door open. But it's tragic. Rest in peace to all of those lost souls. But maybe that situation could have been prevented. I think it was. I think that might have been prevented if that door was locked. But obviously, hindsight is always 20/20. It's unfortunate, but y'all let me know what you thought about this one in the comment section below. Do you agree with Jordan Peterson and what he was saying about the attention needle and it being addicting? Let me know. Like, share, comment. Hit that subscribe button before you go. Peace and love. I'm out.